Yes, this is Raider X coming at you from deep within the confines of the Raider Nation. Raider Nation, I know the Super Bowl is coming up this week and we're not in it. Well, the powers that be, it worked out the way it is. But we know we should have been there. But Raider Nation, don't forget, we're not rooting for anybody. We want the Patriots to lose at all costs. But we're not joining another fan base and rooting for their team to win. We rooting for the Patriots to lose.
Just say go Falcons.
That's all that matters. We're not saying go Falcons. We're saying we want the Patriots to lose. We don't root for other teams. We are the Raider Nation.
Man, you got to see the hand gestures over
We
here.
are the Raider Nation.
Guy's
and
going
we
crazy.
gonna let them forget it. We know the Super Bowl is coming up this week, but future Super Bowls, the Raiders going to be involved in the future Super Bowls. We got the brightest young quarterback in the AFC, and believe me, the way the NFL is set up, when you got a good quarterback, Super Bowls is coming your way.
Yeah, but what about the conspiracy?
Conspiracy? They done conspired against us for years. If it wasn't for all the conspiracies against the Raiders, we might have been the one about 15 Super Bowls.
Just say 50.
Well, let's say 50.
All of them.
They stole a bunch of them from us. The officials every year, they do what they can do to keep us from winning games. They recognize every single, I say, you can throw a flag on every play. Well, when the Raiders is playing, they exercise their right. They throw flags.
Just being realistic.
Hey, Stevie Wonder conceded they making bad calls against the Raiders and have been making bad calls against the Raiders for 30, 40, 50 years.
Well, I guess the Tuck rule was the number one controversial call on the NFL Top 10 countdown.
And it should be, but we had about 3 or 4 on there. We ain't forgot.
Yeah, but there was 3 total, but the other 2 were pro-Raiders.
Pro-Raiders?
Oh, wait, there was 4 of them, because the other one that was anti-Raiders was the Immaculate...
Deception.
Exactly.
Not reception, deception.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is.
But, I mean, the Holy Roller was on there, and... God, what was the other one? Oh, it was against the Patriots in a wild card game.
And you talking about the ghost to the post?
That was a Colts playoff game, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
I'm talking about the Patriots one.
The Patriots.
You got an extra down or something.
Oh, that's right.
Why they're helping the Raiders out? I don't know.
Believe me, somebody got fired after that. Somebody lost their job. Some poor stiff lost their job because they made a mistake and it helped the Raiders. It's just like in the Holy Roller game against San Diego.
Yeah.
Hey, when they didn't call that the other way that we had a forward pass and stuff, you know what? I'd have to look back on that. I wonder if that official got fired. Because whenever you do something to help the Raiders, I'm telling you right now, commissioners...
You're guaranteeing that 2 people lost their jobs on those.
Lost their jobs.
For sure.
For sure.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Just because we're helping the Raiders.
Just because they're helping the Raiders.
All right. That's how we start this thing off. He is Al Shepard.
A.K.A. Raider X.
Yes. My name is David Johnson. And let's talk about how opposite we are. Because number one, you're a rabid Raider fan. And I'm a 49ers fan.
Well, let's explain that.
Let's explain it. What do you got?
Because there's no such thing as a rabid 49er fan.
And see,
when the 49ers is winning, oh yeah, you got a lot of them who want to pretend that they're rabid 49er fans. But once the 49ers start losing, they say, well, I'm kind of a Bay Area fan, or I'm a kind of sports fan, or I'm kind of this. They don't come right out anymore and say they hardcore 49er fans. They come out and just say, oh, well, I'm kind of like rooting for everybody. I'm a sports fan.
Whoa. You're trying to tell me that the Raiders are the only team that has hardcore fans? Are they the only ones?
No, you know what? I'm going to admit, there are about 3 other teams that got
Just three.
Just three.
You don't believe
the rest of them is wannabes.
You don't believe that there is one hardcore Jaguars fan? One.
One?
Give me one.
What can
oh,
you
he's
get?
out there. Oh, he's out there.
Oh,
Trust
no.
me.
I'm telling you right now, you might have to pay him.
He is out there.
Pay him to say that he's a Jaguar fan.
These people are freaks. I'm telling
Jaguars?
you. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. That's like telling me that you got a lot of Cleveland Brown fans.
They're there.
There
Brown?
are?
Oh, of course.
Get
Wait, you don't think they're hardcore Browns fans?
Hardcore?
What else do they do in Cleveland? They still show up to those games.
They show up, you're right, because there's nothing else to do in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's why you have hardcore Browns fans. That's why you have hardcore Bills fans.
Maybe I should put it this way.
Bears fans.
Maybe I should put it this way. To me...
Sounds like you're learning something.
I'm not learning anything.
I'm teaching you.
You got to look at it from a different perspective.
I'm teaching you.
When you're talking about hardcore fans, we're talking about fans that don't just exist in the city where their team play. We're talking about hardcore fans who exist in all the other cities in the NFL. You can't go in a single city in the NFL and not find Raider fans,
who are the others?
Pittsburgh Steelers fans,
correct,
Cowboy fans,
yes,
and Packer fans.
Yes.
Those are the four hardcore fan bases in America. Everybody else is wannabes, and you can't call them hardcore.
What do all four of those franchises have in common?
They've all won Super Bowls.
Exactly. That's what it comes down to.
You gonna tell me that you
think... Well, let me concede to that, because the Patriots aren't a national brand. The 49ers aren't really a national brand, although you just named the top four, which I agree with you. Those are the top four. Who's number 5?
Number 5.
Who do you got? Just say it. Just say
it.
There's that big logo right behind you.
The Whiners?
I'm telling you.
Get out of here. I named 2 other fan bases I think is stronger than the 49ers. The Philadelphia Eagles.
God, they're hard. They gotta be hardcore.
And one more, I don't know why.
Because they don't have Super Bowls.
And one more, I don't know why, is the Jets fans. Some kind of way, Jets fans is like...
Joe Namath is God.
I know. And Joe Namath, really, of all the quarterbacks in the Super Bowl era, he's probably the worst one to make it into the Hall of Fame. He had one good year, really, to brag about.
One good game?
Yeah. And just him guaranteeing...
Was it even that great of a game?
Guaranteeing that win that he was going to get the Super Bowl. Basically... That put him in the Hall of Fame. But you know how that is. That all goes with that East Coast bias. When they got more people to vote
the Northeast.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the way he got in.
So that's an interesting point that you say that those top 4 teams are the only ones that have hardcore throughout the country.
Yes.
But I mean, what I was trying to say is that every team has hardcore fans. You got to tell me that those 49er fans, I mean, I see them on Twitter, and they're out of their mind, that will defend the team no matter what. They're talking about John Lynch being the savior, I'm sure. Like, that's like a perfect move.
There are idiots everywhere. You got some people out there that think Donald Trump is going to save the world.
Any politician.
That's right. And guess what? They're going to find out in the end. I hope they're right.
See, you got hardcore fans of everything.
You don't have hardcore fans of everything.
You just got
a lot of crazy people who's like out there pretending.
Just tell me that there's hardcore 49er fans. Just do it.
Okay, there's 1 or 2.
1 or 2?
Concede.
Give me 10 or 20,000, and we'll be all right.
If you're happy with 10 or 20,000, I'll say all right.
I don't really care.
In the grand scheme of things, 10 or 20,000 is nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Oh, it bothers you.
It doesn't.
That basically you root for a
fan
base that only shows up when they're winning. They're like bandwagon fans.
I don't mind. I don't really care.
None of the 49er fans care because they're not real 49er fan. Most 49er fans, you can't ask them anything before Joe Montana.
Best uniforms in the NFL.
What?
49ers.
What?
Red and gold.
If they had the best uniforms in the NFL, they wouldn't be changing them every other year. I got buddies who done bought
trust
49er
me,
jerseys,
I'm
and they're
still pissed.
all different colors.
I'm still pissed off
They're
about that.
so good at jerseys. That's why you got to have a new jersey every 2 years, because they can't figure out how to get it right.
Nobody
The silver and black, we didn't have the right jersey for our whole existence. You don't have to guess. You can go get a Raider jersey today.
What were the Raiders' first colors?
Before they became the Raiders, when they were seniors, I think they was...
No, they were the Raiders.
No, the first color I think was brown, and...
It was gold.
I thought it was brown. It looked
Yeah.
more brown.
No, well, it was gold and black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, whereas they was blind then, they could see now.
Well, that was a long time ago. It only lasted like the first 2 or 3 years, wasn't
and,
it?
and rightfully so.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with the Raiders jersey. They're iconic. They look really great.
That's right.
And they don't change them.
That's right.
I love that.
So basically, you just contradicted what you said. When you said the 49ers had great jerseys, and then all of a sudden you're saying they changing them so much, they can't be great. They just great for a day or two,
Well,
right?
no, the franchise is not wise. They're idiots. They're stupid.
Well, you know what? Who am I?
They got
disagree
They got
with you
lucky.
there?
They got lucky with Bill Walsh.
Yeah.
They got lucky with Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like there's some masterful franchise. Al Davis is a better owner than any of the Niner owners
Well, whenever you say
over his long tenure.
Yeah, but whenever you're saying something good about the Raiders over the 49ers, I'm not going to argue with
Oh.
you about it. I'm just not that kind of person.
Did I mention the 49ers have better uniforms?
Oh, God. You're probably the only person in America who agree with that. If we was to...
I don't think I'm the only one.
If we was to have a poll...
Not even close.
If we was to have a poll of fans out there who are not Raider fans and who are not 49er
I'll tell you
fans,
who wins. I'll tell you who.
I bet you most of them would say the Raiders.
I'll tell you who the number one in the whole league is.
Who?
The powder blue Chargers. And they wear it twice a year. That's not even the right one.
I almost had to say something about that, but I bet not go there.
No, let's hear it. Just say it.
Powder blue.
Yeah.
This is a man's game. Silver and black is man colors.
You ever see Chris Berman out there talking about this is the most beautiful jersey in the league?
And has Chris Berman ever played any football?
Probably high school.
Did
he play at Brown? I have no idea.
I rest my case. Powder blue. That's just like that ugly red and gold.
Oh, well, that's...
I mean, it's just powder blue. When you say powder, it takes all the masculinity out of playing
You don't think
football.
the powder blue jerseys look good?
I
God, they
don't think
look
any jersey in America look good that's not silver and black.
No, are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh, wow. All right.
Remember, I am a hardcore member of the Raider Nation. Everybody
Are you sure about that?
Everybody else in all the sports nations hate the silver and black. And guess what? We like it that way, and we just hate them back.
All right, you sound pretty sure of yourself. All right, so once again, you're Al Shepard, a.k.a. Raider X. I'm David Johnson, Dave's Show. We're going to talk about some more differences. I'm a little more soft-spoken, as you can see. Al gets a little excited.
I'm a Raider fan and you're a 49er fan.
We got that.
I just go back to that.
We're both A's fans.
No, we're not.
We're not. Are you out? I stopped watching him last year, too.
Billy Beane.
I stopped watching him, too.
Billy Beane has forced me out of baseball.
you don't watch baseball at all.
I quit watching baseball.
Yeah, I'm done with baseball, too.
Because every time the A's get good, Billy Beane gives the team away for nothing. And then he expects his fans to go out there and pay major league dollars to see a minor league team.
It's true.
And then you got all these other, what kills me the worst
Everyone calls
is,
him a genius.
That's right. That's what kills me more than everybody.
Make a
Every other
movie.
team say Billy Beane is a genius. Billy Beane is a genius. You know what? If he's such a genius, let somebody else take this genius off our hands. Let them have
I think the
it.
Red Sox tried, didn't they?
Let the Red Sox go get Billy Beane and
That was years ago.
And have him get rid of every time you have a star player, you get rid of him. Big Papi wouldn't have never been Big Papi in Boston because he'd have been popping somewhere else.
That is
Billy
true.
Beane say, I don't know where you're going to win, but you ain't going to win here. You know?
Yeah.
You want big dollars? Hey, we don't pay big dollars. You want big dollars? You go somewhere else. For us, we gonna just put a good enough product on the out there, and just so we can get a few fans out and we can make a little bit money. We don't care if we win. Every now and then we get all these new little rookies and we get them together and we catch fire in a bottle, and
They're not that hard to root for, those guys. I mean,
they're not that hard to root for.
you know, I mean the guys that are coming up trying to make it. I mean,
If you got low standards and you just want to root for people who's trying hard,
I mean, it's like
to make
watching
it,
a minor league team playing.
That's right. Well, then guess what? If you want to watch a
I
minor
mean, I
league,
like
go
the-
to a minor league game.
I've liked a lot of those guys.
Yeah. Well, how do you justify just giving up Donaldson for nothing? He leaves the
I mean,
A's
see,
and
I liked
become-
Donaldson.
That's right.
We had no idea who he was.
And guess what? He leaves the A's and become the MVP the next year or so. And
Exactly.
then we get rid of him for nothing.
I like him on the Blue Jays.
You know what? There's a lot of, you like Cespedes on another team. You like all they put our pitching staff, they broke them all up. Everybody on that team who was any good, he got rid of them.
Miguel
We had
Tejada was the
7
tough one.
Well, Miguel Tejada,
Then they kept
they got
Eric.
rid of him.
They kept
They
Eric.
kept Eric Chavez, that's right.
He never-
And they got rid of Tejada, and the next year he won the MVP. If you want to win the MVP,
Not quite, but yeah.
play for the A's. Believe
Did he
me,
win the MVP with the Orioles?
He won the MVP after he left the A's.
I don't remember that.
I do.
Oh. All right.
It's just me.
Yeah.
I done had enough of Billy Beane, and it just kills me every time somebody say, "Oh, he is just." And that movie Billy Beane, I couldn't watch
Moneyball.
it. Moneyball.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch it.
It was
To
a little.
this
It was a
day-
little poetic for me.
To this day, I ain't watched it.
Oh, you've never even seen it.
I had the movie. Remember, I gave you a copy. I think.
I bought it.
And I didn't watch it.
I buy movies.
Hey, more power to you.
Is it?
That's right. But
It's like I buy. Here's another opposite. I buy music. Do you?
and I have never bought in the last 40 years. I haven't bought any music, and I got a lot of it.
You're gonna buy my album though.
Dave,
You see all this equipment? This is
I
all of it?
will buy your album.
Yes.
You could sit back and say, "This is the only album Al bought. It must be great."
Would you listen to it? What? You're not gonna listen to it?
No, I guess I'll listen to
Come
it
on.
because I can't talk about it if I don't listen to it. It might surprise me.
You need a little rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Oh God.
What is your favorite genre of music? Who are your favorite artists? Because it's definitely not what I listen to. You don't like rock at all. You don't like the guitars.
I don't like any music that's just all music without anybody singing in it. I kind
Well, you don't like the rock singers.
No. Well, I don't like if they singing. I could like some rock.
Uh-huh.
But if it's just, well, maybe that's jazz. I don't like anything that's just all music. I kind of like somebody singing, and I like hip hop. I like rap if they're not cussing.
Will Smith.
Huh?
Will Smith.
Well, I liked him when he was hot, but I'm just saying, the way my life has changed over the last few years, I'm just
Yeah.
not into listening.
We're gonna get to that. Yeah.
I'm not into listening to music that people is calling people the B word and all that kind of stuff, and just not into it.
Yeah. By the way, did you see Snoop Dogg at the NHL All-Star Skills Competition?
Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
When did he start playing hockey?
Oh, you give him enough money, he'll show up to anything.
No, I didn't see it. I knew he was going to be there, but I
Yeah,
didn't
they
watch
had him at the center, in the middle of the center ice, and he had his
Uh-huh.
laptop out, I guess, pushing buttons. He was
Yeah.
they called him DJ Snoopadelic.
it. Oh, okay.
So he goes out there and he plays the song with him and Dr. Dre,
Oh, yeah.
and it's when Dr. Dre comes in and goes, "I'm up in this you know,
Yeah.
and it wasn't censored.
Wow.
It was all on NBC, and then he
Wow.
starts rapping about smoking weed and stuff. And he's like,
Uh-huh.
"I'm gonna get this shit," and all that stuff.
riding
Yeah,
down
I was
the
like-
street, smoking indo,
You know
sipping
the-
on gin and juice. Do I know that? Yeah, I know that.
Is that it? I don't remember it.
Yeah. Oh well, Dave.
Is that Forgot About Dre or
Yeah,
something about
you think
Dre?
You done forgot about Dre? Oh yeah.
No, that's the Eminem one, isn't it? What's the Snoop Dogg one?
Snoop Dogg is one that he was talking about. Rolling down the street, smoking indos, sipping on gin and juice, laid back.
That doesn't sound like the same
my
song.
Money on my mind.
Uh-huh.
But Snoop got a lot of songs that's got that out there.
I don't know much about Snoop Dogg.
When I
Had
was
a good TV show on MTV.
When I was into his music, I used to know a lot about it. But
You're done with it.
No, I'm not done with it. I'm just, it's just like it's like when you was a kid, you remember the music from when you was a kid. Then you kind of get
For
away
me, that
and-
was MC Hammer.
Oh, okay. I liked him then. So then
Too legit to quit.
6 or 7 years later, you go to somebody else. You don't forget it when you hear it. You say, "Oh yeah, I used to like that song." Well, I used to back in the day. I did like a lot of Snoop and Tupac, and I was into that.
That wasn't when you were a kid, though.
Well,
Who'd you grow up with?
who was the star when I grew up with?
I mean, real quick. Here's another opposite. He's Al Shepard. I'm David Johnson. You're like 30 years older than me. You're the same age as my dad, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so you're 30 years older than me.
That's right.
Yeah,
So,
we have that for sure.
and I'm from an inner city, and you're from
The suburbs.
the suburbs.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference. And my inner city was
Oakland.
Richmond, California.
Richmond. I knew that.
And got out of Richmond and migrated to Oakland.
Yeah, you live there.
That's right. So
You're in East Bay.
the East Bay, that's right. Rocking it
Hey,
all
I lived
day.
in Fremont
Okay.
till first grade.
Oh, okay then. See, that's why we're a lot different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, plus when you're growing up, you're out and about all the time, right? Hanging out with friends. And
Oh yeah.
what were you up to?
I hung out on the streets
Yeah.
of Richmond.
I hung out in my bedroom. I barely left my room.
I hardly ever knew what my room was.
You're always out there.
Oh yeah. But when you growing up,
How many brothers and sisters you have?
I had 9 brothers and 3 sisters.
Yeah, see?
And
9 brothers and
and
3
three
sisters.
in it, and at one time,
It seems like your family got bigger since the last time I
7 or
talked to you.
8 of them, 7 or 8 of the boys stayed in one room most of the time.
Oh, man.
So you could just imagine some of the fights we had in there.
I have one sister.
Well, I got 3 sisters altogether.
Oh, man. What would you fight about? Oh, I guess that's what
It's
brothers
boys.
do. Yeah.
We start off wrestling, team wrestling, and back when the
Dude, I've been in one fight in my whole life. A kid was making
I hope you won.
a kid was making fun of the Chicago Bulls. I was 8 years old.
Uh-huh.
This kid was making fun of the Chicago Bulls, and that was like my team back then. Like Michael Jordan was my guy, and so I pushed him down, and he started crying, and
Wow.
and then he got back up, and then he pushed me back, and I fell down, and then I ran away, and I cried in my room for like an hour.
Oh God!
That's my one fight.
Wow, you couldn't have lived in my hood.
What would happen to me? There's no way. Yeah.
Well,
How many fights have you got? What would be your what do you think your record was?
for fighting,
Yeah.
we just fought all the time. I mean, it's just kind of like you be in class and you start getting an argument, you start fighting.
In class?
Yeah, in class.
Well, we're talking like we're from 2 different planets here.
They didn't fight in class in your school?
Well, remember, I went to a Christian school with like 10 students total in my class.
Wow.
That was it. 3rd through 8th grade.
Did you ever see that movie, Mr. Carter?
Bits and pieces of it. That's Samuel L. Jackson's
And at school
right?
in
He's
Richmond,
he's the basketball coach.
the basketball coach?
Yeah.
Well, I went to that school.
That's
If
the
you've
school?
seen any part of that school, when they were showing,
It's pretty
people
rough.
when people was smoking weed and drinking and
That
just
was you.
doing Yeah, I was in high school and stuff, and I was smoking weed, doing drugs, passing out in class.
I've never smoked weed.
Got kicked out of Richmond High.
I've never taken drugs.
Kicked out of Kennedy High School and they sent me to the continuation school in Richmond, California called Gumpers. Got kicked out of there.
What were you doing?
We was gambling in class. And,
Gambling?
And the teacher came and broke up the game, and I slapped her.
Oh, man. That's hardcore.
Yep, and hey, things you can get away back in school back then.
Yeah, we're talking a whole different time.
Whole different time from now. I tell my daughters now that honestly,
Daughters are amazing, too.
I didn't want them to meet a guy like me.
Yeah.
I might want them to meet a guy like me now.
You want him to meet a guy like me?
Yes. Yeah, I would like them to meet a guy like you, but
A 49er
for
fan.
me,
A 49er fan.
Get out of here with that. I'd rather they end up with a guy like me then.
No, you don't.
Well, no, I won't go that far. But no, I tell my daughters now, the way I was back in high school and right after I got out of high school, I just pray that they wouldn't meet that guy now.
Yeah. You're pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're out there. Oh, man.
Say we're out there.
Yes, that's true. You're a changed man now. All right, so yesterday I went to your church service. And you want to give out the church and where it's located at?
The church is Family Praise and Worship Ministries in Campo, California at 4099 Emerson Road.
Yes, and when you went up there, I think the first thing you talked about was me being there. And what was it that you said? Do you remember?
Yeah, I told the church that when I met Dave,
Yes.
we was working at this grocery store, and years ago I used to try to talk to him to come to church and to believe in God. And he used to be like, oh, there's no such thing as God. And he used to always, so he got to just one day he was up there talking so bad about God that I told him, I say, Dave,
Yeah.
I'm fixing to get up and move across the aisle from
Yeah.
you because if God strike you down right now, I don't want him to miss. Not that he would miss, I just wanted to give him more room. And yesterday was like, our pastor called me a week ago and asked me if I could do service at church this week.
And that's the second time you've done it.
And it was the second time I've ever done it. And then I told her I would. So I went on Facebook inviting people to come to service to hear me. And I went and asked Dave. I've been asking him for years, and I finally...
In person, you asked me.
I came and asked him in person.
Did you shop at my store?
Would he come? And he told me yes. Well, you know how you say people say yes, they're going to come. Well, yeah, I was hoping he would come, but you know, people always say they're going to come and don't. He actually showed up in church. And I had to tell the church that story about what I just told you guys.
Yeah.
And I say on this day, God won, Satan 0.
Why do you say that?
Because anytime that you can get one more soul, one more person to come in and just hear the word of God, that day, if you could save one soul, you done your part. And you showed up at whether you come back again, if you start believing in God or not, on that day yesterday, we had victory. Victory was just having you.
Just showing up.
Just showing up.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you thought maybe I became a believer or something.
I'm not sure if one day could make you a believer, but all it takes...
I was when I was a kid. Yeah.
And I know that. But all it takes is that one time to kind of get you. It's like you plant that seed and you water it a little bit, and maybe it starts growing again. Over these years since you haven't been a believer, your seeds probably haven't been watered. Your planting withered away. So all it takes, sometimes just take a little bit of water to wake it back up and it start growing again.
There was a lot of passion in that room. I'll definitely say that.
You know what? yesterday, while I was doing the sermon, I actually just felt something come over me like never before. I actually felt it. People used to tell me about how the Spirit, the Holy Ghost and stuff could come over you and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had never felt it. But yesterday I actually felt the anointing come over my body and stuff. And I tried this morning to just remember some of the things that I said. And when you're in the anointing and you're in the moment, you just can't remember everything you said. If I had to give that sermon back verbatim, every single word, I couldn't do it. Because when you're in the anointing and God is talking through you, your mouth is just a piece through him. He's putting the words and it's coming out there. And I finally felt that for the first time, and it was just truly amazing.
What do you mean? What did it feel like?
It's just like
you lost control?
Yes, it's like you lost control. Nothing else. You don't even like everything else around you just sort of almost like don't exist anymore. It's just like out there, he takes over your body and he puts it out. He gives his people what they need to hear through your mouth.
I would describe that same kind of feeling when I go to a rock concert and the music is just touching me like that. And I kind of lose control a little bit, and I'm like moving like I can't even, you know what I'm saying?
I can understand, because you know what? It's sort of like, I guess for another analogy, you could say like,
even when like the Raiders score
when Clay Thompson, when he gets off into one of these zones that everything he's throwing up is going in, or a step, everything he's throwing up is just going in. It's just like, you just give me the ball, it's going to go in. That's the kind, I guess that's the way, if you're going to produce a sports analogy or some other, like you said.
Even with when the Raiders win a big game, I mean, I'm sure you're feeling, that's got to be an amazing feeling. It's an amazing feeling for me when I watched the Los Angeles Kings win the Stanley Cup twice. It's my favorite hockey team. I was jumping up and down like crazy in this place.
Oh, yes. It's like, yes.
Very similar to what was going on in that church service yesterday.
And that really amazed me in the church. Over the years, we've hardly ever had anybody speak to whereas after they got through speaking, everybody started just standing up, clapping, and just... that
was the first standing ovation?
I think we may have had them, but not on that level. It was just, wow, everybody in there was just like... It really made me feel good.
Well, it seemed like everybody was there to see you.
Well, yes, but
that's why I was there.
Just because
I wanted to see what you're up to.
See you, don't mean that they have to clap and stuff for you. You could just.
I guess I could have booed you.
Or you could have just sat there and did nothing.
No, I enjoyed it.
But for you, being a non-believer per se.
Mm-hmm. I am.
You say.
Are you sitting far enough away?
Yeah. To have you say.
Well, I was saying nasty things about God at the time, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure you was. That's why I wanted to get further away from you.
Yeah.
But to just have you stand up and afterwards just approve of what you had just heard, that meant a lot to me, Dave, more than you will ever know. That actually
I like the passion.
I like.
Yeah.
And that's you know what? When you bring in the passion for the Word of God, it's like, well, I bring the same passion when we're talking sports.
Yeah, but that's what basically my belief is that it's you that's doing it.
Again, I thank you. I guess I'm a passionate guy, but it's like
I agree with that.
My life,
there's no denying that.
You already know, Dave, over the years, when I have to argue something, you know how I am.
Oh, sometimes you get fired up.
If I feel I'm right.
That's why we're doing a podcast.
That's right. If I feel I'm right, we're going to argue until
you're going to be the star. You're going to be the star of this show.
That's right. Because if you sign something and I believe I'm right, I'm going to argue right no matter what.
There he goes. Right on. Hey. All right, since this is a sports podcast, I thought I'd talk about the latest news today is that the 49ers have got John Lynch as the new general manager.
John Lynch.
No experience.
That's right.
Yeah. He's been on Fox TV for the past 9 years. No scouting. Doesn't have to fire anybody.
That's right.
So, and he is a nice guy. I mean, I've seen him on the herd and stuff, and I think that's what Jed York values over winning is a nice guy.
Yep.
That's why I keep telling you that the 49ers are a dumpster fire.
Well, you ever heard of that thing that says nice guys finish last?
I can relate to that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The 49ers, like you say, is an accident waiting to happen.
What are you, Stephen A. Smith, talking about the Cowboys?
Well, you know what? He could change up and talk about the 49ers if he like right now, because right now everything Jed Bush do right now.
Jed York.
Okay, yeah.
Jeb Bush.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I don't know what he's up to.
Oh, that's right. Whatever they do right now is going to just be wrong. But the problem is in the NFL.
Well, it could turn out right. I mean, I can still be optimistic.
The problem is in the NFL, if you don't get a good quarterback, I don't care what else you got going on good. You could have a good coach. You could have a great GM. If you ain't got a good coach, a good quarterback, you're not winning. And there's only been probably 2 Super Bowl teams that won Super Bowls with bad quarterbacks.
Baltimore.
Baltimore, because they had the number 1 defense probably of all time.
I mean, you would say Denver last year statistically had the worst, but it was still Peyton Manning.
Yeah, that's right. He was the other one I was going to say. Them two. Peyton Manning was awful last year.
Yeah.
Was awful, but he was Peyton Manning and they defense. But the
Mark Rippon.
The number one thing in both of these was both those teams had number 1 defenses.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to win on a consistent base in the NFL is a quarterback.
Yeah.
And they give Belichick all of this billing about he's such a great quarterback. Well, he had pretty much one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And he's still, how many Super Bowls have he won?
4.
4?
Yeah.
How many has he stolen to get those 4?
0.
Get out of here.
What do you mean stolen?
Every
because he filmed the practice?
He's cheating every time he leave his office.
What team doesn't cheat?
Well, does that make it right? Well, you know what? I stand corrected. I agree with that because I'm a Raider fan.
Yeah, if you ain't cheating, you're not trying.
To where Al Davis
you're not cheating,
say,
you're not trying.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah.
Just don't get caught. But the problem is he'd have been caught a couple of times, so he's a bad cheater.
Well, if they're under a microscope, they win all the time. But he filmed the practice. Big deal.
He's a cheater.
They didn't deflate the footballs. I mean, whatever.
He's a cheater.
They all are. I hope.
He just does it more than others.
Well, Pete Carroll's got probably a worse track record than Bill Belichick does.
Maybe when he was in college.
Not even now. He just got caught with the Richard Sherman not revealing the knee injury all season. He was doing illegal practices with the Seahawks.
Oh, okay. Well,
he's already lost a bunch of draft picks, a couple of them.
Okay. Well, it's sort of
the
like
PEDs in Seattle. They had cut 2 guys because of PEDs.
Oh yeah, well they're doing that all over the NFL. All that kind of cheating.
And of course at USC, yeah.
Yeah.
Hiring illegal coaches, illegal practices.
To me, I think the number 1 cheating job that was perpetrated by a Raider.
Are you seriously? Really?
Oh yeah, I think I want the Raiders. I want us to be at the top in everything. I don't care, good or bad.
Well, what was this?
Well, the thing was when Ted Hendricks broke his hand. He had
Ted Hendricks.
Yeah, he was a linebacker probably before you was born, back in the 70s. And he had a broken hand. He put some brass knuckles inside of his cast and wrapped it up.
That's awesome.
And it was only supposed to have the cast on for 5 weeks. He kept the cast on for the whole football season with the brass knuckles in there. And every time somebody would come on line, because that's when they played football back then, he'd come across and he'd reach across the line and he'd slap people upside the head, the
Pulling
helmet, and he said they'd they'd be in concussion protocol for the whole game.
Pulling the Deacon Jones hand slap, right?
That's right. That was legal back then. The forearms and stuff. They played football back then.
I no disagree.
Right now, they should might as well be playing touch.
Dude, Deacon Jones is my favorite player.
Oh, yeah. I actually used to like him, too.
Oh,
Even
man.
though he wasn't a Raider, I actually liked him because he
Who's
played
your-
like a Raider.
Who's your favorite non-Raider?
My favorite non-Raider?
Yeah, do you have one?
Wow. I can't say I have.
Deacon?
Non-Raiders, I'd say OJ.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Why do you want O.J. Simpson? He was a finesse player.
But OJ used to just be running wild on everybody. He was the best running back I've ever seen.
I like Earl Campbell better than O.J. Simpson.
Well, he just...
O.J. is finesse unless he's with a woman.
Cool. You got that right.
Yeah.
But
That's when he lets the rage out.
yeah, I gotta say OJ was my and
I'm surprised by that.
But you already know who's my favorite.
Earl Campbell was the man for running backs.
Nah.
See, he couldn't even last because he was dishing out punishment like crazy.
Well, let me see. Next to OJ, I'd probably have non-Raider. Now we only talk about non-Raiders.
Non-Raiders.
The
Who you
next-
got?
Okay, after that, I liked Gail Sayers.
Gail Sayers, isn't? What do you like these?
We got to remember, I'm 30 years older than you, and so they played back then. It's
No,
like,
I mean you're picking like finesse guys. Gail Sayers wasn't like a.
he sort of like was sweetness. I liked him too. I liked in
You know, and
running
Al
backs.
Davis was all about guys like this too, wasn't he?
Well, Marcus Allen was sort of a finesse guy.
Yeah. I want bone crushers.
Well, we never.
I'm talking about Deacon Jones.
Oh, but we was talking about running backs.
Oh, I was just talking about any player.
Oh well, okay. Let me see. My best non-rated fan that I hated him so much, and I guess I got to say I liked him. I didn't like him. I just liked to hate him. Was Mean Joe Green.
All right,
You know, I just liked to
that's
hate
better.
him.
What was his tactic? Oh man, I forgot. He had something where
You should have just asked the question: which players did I hate the most?
Yeah, who do you hate the most?
Well, if I just say their physical play on the field or things they did, I got two levels of hatred I got for the players. I got hatred for players who done things and they got away with it and still was allowed to play. And then I got players I just hate because I just don't like them. The hatred's the two
Let's
players.
go with
the
name
two
'em both.
players I hate that I felt got to still play football and shouldn't be playing. One is Roethlisberger. As far as I'm concerned, he's a rapist and he's playing in the NFL.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh,
He's a rapist and he's playing in the NFL. And for the commissioner to lower his suspension from, from 6 games to 4, and he was a rapist.
was he convicted in a trial?
The girl was passed out in a bathroom, drunk.
Yeah.
He admitted to it. It's
Was he
all
drunk?
been gone. No,
What happened
he
in
went into the restaurant. The girl was in the restaurant in the restroom, passed out. He went in there and had sex with her.
What happened in the trial? I don't know. I don't remember the story.
It didn't go.
There was no charges
as much-
brought?
No, it was some charges, but he signed. They settled the thing out of court. And
He paid her a
stuff,
bunch of
and like
money?
paid her a lot of money and stuff, and he got off.
Oh, well.
Since he's a rapist.
Don't you think anyone who's not in jail should be able to play in the league?
He's a rapist.
Oh, well, okay.
He needs to be playing in the prison league. Now, I didn't say he can't play in the league. He should just be playing in prison.
I don't know if we're going to have legal issues with these statements, but
Okay. And then the other one.
we'll get your lawyer on the phone.
That's right. And the other one,
I doubt it, but
He's not playing anymore, and I hate him. For
Wait,
both.
what was the stipulation for this guy? You hate him just because you don't like him.
The other one is I just hate him for things that they did away from football.
That was Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger, and the other one was Ray Lewis.
Oh, okay.
Ray Lewis stands on my hated list on both categories, though. Ray Lewis.
You hate the way he played.
Because basically, I
the
think,
Ravens beat the Raiders in the AFC Championship game.
and it was 15 Ray Lewises on the field.
Yo, you were there too.
Oh yeah, he was everywhere.
This is a Raiders season ticket holder since
About 30 years.
Oh yeah. Even when they were in LA.
When they was in LA.
And when they go to Vegas.
And when they go to Vegas, I don't care if they become the Istanbul Raiders. I'm a Raider fan. Being a Raider fan is just, it's a lifestyle.
Back to Ray Lewis.
Okay, and Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis went to trial and stuff about, he was found innocent. They didn't have enough proof on him, but it was a lot of people there who thought that he was involved in that murder back then.
He just knew about it.
No, he was part of it.
Oh, he actually did the deed.
No, they didn't prove he did the deed.
Uh-huh.
He was just with the people who did the deed.
Okay.
And
he just knew about it. Yeah.
No, he was in that room when it happened.
Allegedly.
No, he was there.
Allegedly.
They just didn't prove that he had anything to do with it.
And then he covered it up.
Yeah, they covered it up. So, that's for them. And then the other thing with Ray Lewis is just because
you couldn't beat him.
He beat us and kept us from going to the Super Bowl.
What's he supposed to do? Sit down?
I'll take that if my team gets to go to the Super Bowl.
Are you serious? No, you don't.
Oh, yes, I would.
Come on.
I'm one of them guys that say win at all costs. And I don't mind cheating to win.
Yeah, and what were you saying about the Patriots earlier?
Oh, I don't mind. Hey.
No, we don't get caught.
Don't get caught.
Oh, okay. I got it.
I don't like a sorry cheater.
So you wonder what else they're up to, huh?
Hey, they probably going to be up to something this weekend.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Who you got? Who you picking?
Who am I picking?
Yeah. Who's going to win it?
Fan.
Who's going to win it?
I don't pick anybody.
Well, analyze the game.
Well, the way I pick it is
I'm not picking your rooting interest. I mean, you can't.
I want the Patriots to lose at all costs.
I mean, you can't just look at the game and go, all right, let's see. I like, quarterback. Brady's better than Ryan. Offensive line, running backs, like the Falcons better. You can't
Yeah, I can look at it that way.
I'm just
such
who has the better defense?
I'm just such a Patriot hater that it's hard to me to really look at it and just say, well, Matt Ryan is better than Brady.
Do you ever critique the Raiders, say anything negative about them?
Oh, yeah.
What do you got?
I don't say anything bad about the Raiders in mixed company.
Well, wait, I
think this would constitute mixed company. When I'm talking with my Raider buddies,
okay,
I don't mind talking about when I see something bad the Raiders is doing.
So in the Coliseum parking lot, that conversation happened.
That's right.
Not here.
I am not going to put my team
I'm the enemy.
down.
I'm the enemy.
And when enemies is everywhere and give them fruit to throw at us, there's no way.
This conversation could affect the outcome of the game.
Of a Raider game?
Any game. Yeah, or a Raider game, yeah.
It could. It could. It couldn't affect it. But
what?
When I'm with my other Raider buddies, they can say, "Hey, I heard you on your podcast the other day talking about bad. Have you been telling us that don't say bad things in mixed company about the Raiders?" I don't do that. When the Raiders, I'm not seeing. Just look at it this way. Remember somebody said, if you can't say something good about them, don't say nothing at all. Well,
if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Yeah.
That's right. Well, guess what? I enforce that when it comes to the Raiders.
In mixed company.
In mixed company.
And I'm the enemy.
You and everybody else out there listening.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember, everybody hates the Raider Nation and we hate them back.
I don't mind the Raider Nation. Just like any other fan base.
We are not like, that's an insult right there.
That's
you know what? That right there.
I mean, it's the same
is
demo.
casting a little shade on the Raider Nation, right there.
It's just the same demographic. I mean, you have your hardcores, you got your casuals, you got. That's all I'm saying.
We don't claim casuals.
Really?
There's like casualties of war. I mean.
Well, I mean, when your stadium is, there's 30,000 people, and then when you start winning again, and 20,000 more start showing up, they don't count.
Well, that didn't have anything to do with the level of their loyalty to the Raiders. That had more to do with.
Analyze this, yeah.
It had more to do with, Oakland is it's like a working class city.
All right.
And you gotta put your dollars, every buck means something to you. So when the Raiders was losing, and there's a lot of people struggling to eat out there, you gotta figure out, do I wanna, maybe not have a little food on the table and go watch them lose, or can I just watch it for free on TV? Don't mean I'm not a Raider fan anymore. It's just I'm a Raider fan who don't have enough money to go see it right now.
Sounds like you know some people.
I know people who can't afford to go see the Raiders play, but that don't mean they're not hardcore Raider fans. But what the Raiders also did a couple of years ago is they made the tickets half price.
Oh,
so
that's right.
they went from not selling out to selling out because,
That's good.
they recognized economic hard times throughout the Bay Area and stuff, so they lowered their price to deal, to better serve their fan base.
Yeah,
But
I'm.
trust me, they're winning now, and they just went up on their tickets this year.
Did they really?
They really did.
Oh, boy.
They went up about 30% on all their 30, about 30.
Is that true? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm actually sad that they'll leave Oakland. I'd prefer that they play in Santa Clara.
Why?
So they won't leave the Bay Area.
I wouldn't mind if we went to Santa Clara and played in the stadium where the 49ers play. At least the place would be filled up again.
Yeah, I know it's true. It's like nobody going to
And
those.
it'd be some kind of a fan base that would come there and just really be rabid Raider fans because
You're winning.
well, yeah, you know what? I'm admit to it.
Yeah.
That's got a lot to do with it,
Of course.
is winning.
Always.
But the Raiders
Goes
have,
for every team.
historically,
all
the
sports.
Raiders have traveled real good even when
Except
they're
for the
losing.
Cubs.
Even when they're losing, historically, the Raiders have traveled good at other stadiums.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Because the Raiders like a good party. That's in the show. Like,
You went to New Orleans this year.
Oh, yeah, I went to New Orleans, and it was amazing. Never seen anything like it.
What do you mean?
We was there, and I guess the Raiders had went and got assigned to get what do you call it, like a permission or something to have a parade.
They had a Raider
march
Oh, no way.
in New Orleans. So before the game,
You didn't mention that to me. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Before you look it up on the internet, you'll find it.
I'm not going to.
Before the game, all
Yeah.
the Raiders, they told all the Raiders to hold, because the Raider Nation showed up in New Orleans 3 or 4 days before the game, because, the Raider Nation want to party.
Yeah.
And ain't no better place to party than on Bourbon Street. So they told everybody, and on Bourbon
Vegas.
Street the night before, it was amazing. It was Raider fans everywhere, and in the clubs and stuff, the bands and everybody was playing, Oakland knows how to party, California knows how to party. And it was like they were playing that in all the clubs.
Is that the Tupac song?
I don't even remember.
Oh.
But they so they told everybody to show up at the Raider rally before the game at like 7:30. It was about like 8 blocks from the dome. So everybody, we showed up at this sports bar down there, and it was going to be a march. They closed off 7 blocks
7
of
blocks.
three lane streets on both sides.
Yeah.
And they had a march going to the stadium. All Raider fans. We marched 7 blocks. They estimated about 30 to 35,000.
You were in the march?
Yes. When we walked up towards the stadium, they got like walkways and everything all the way around the stadium. All you could see was the whole place going crazy. It was all Raider fans. I talked to one of the police officers there, and he told me he's never seen anything like this before in his life. The Raider fans took over New Orleans. It was simply amazing, and we won the game.
Yeah, on the 2-point conversion, that was amazing.
Hey, that's when I coach won us over. When Jack Del Rio, when he went for that 2 points there to win and stuff, I think that really won the team and showed that he had faith in the Raiders.
Yeah, I was bummed out Derek Carr got hurt. They're going to be good for a decade, though.
I was at that game, and let me tell you something. When we came out of that game, we won the game, but when we came out the game, it was like when we come out of a game after we done lost. Everybody was so bummed out. It was just like we just got beat 50-0.
Yeah.
It was just everybody, myself included, we all tried to talk up a good game for the next, for the playoffs, but realistically.
You did. You came in and made a bet with me that you would beat the Patriots. Remember?
Yeah, if we got there.
Yeah. Of course, it didn't happen.
And I don't owe you that. Oh, you owe me $10. Remember I gave you that $10 and said, if we don't play, you got to give me my $10 back.
Oh, that is right.
Oh, that's right. I'm glad I forgot all about that.
I'm glad I brought it.
You just talk your way back out of $10.
I'm glad I brought it up. I forgot about that part.
Yeah, but
because it was $10. Otherwise, if you did beat the Patriots, I would owe you $100.
Yeah,
but you gave me $10 on the spot.
Yeah, I gave you $10.
Yeah.
I told you I might lose, but if we won, I gave you 20 points, huh? No, I gave you 10 points. Huh?
I think we were gonna do the spread.
Oh, we was gonna do the spread, yeah.
No, we weren't for $100.
No,
I wasn't gonna do the spread for $100.
No, I
tier
gave
10.
I gave you 10-1 odds.
Yeah, it was straight up.
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, he's a gambling man.
Oh yeah. So.
I think it's a good start right here.
Oh, okay.
You know.
That is the first one. So.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get better and.
You gonna have a big Super Bowl party this weekend?
Well,
usually you got that huge yard.
Oh yeah, it is a good place for a Super Bowl. But my wife already told me you better not have no big Super Bowl party. So as of right now, I only got like 4.
She had enough.
Yeah. Well, I only got 4 people invited right now, but I'm sure between now and Sunday it's gonna grow a little bit.
How many did you have last year?
Oh, probably about 50 or 60.
Oh my goodness. I think the largest crowd I've ever had in my house is maybe 10.
Wow.
You know what I'm going to do for the Super Bowl?
What?
I'm going to go hang out with my grandma.
Oh, is she a football fan?
Yeah.
Oh, well, grandmas need somebody to love, too.
Minnesota Vikings.
She's a Viking fan?
Yeah.
Oh, she's been going through it a lot. Yeah.
It's tough up there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so, hey, he's Al Shepard. I'm David Johnson.